While the blighted timber of Dendrox-Minor claimed the sky, the catastrophic pressure beneath the surface ravaged the planet's mantle. Massive shells of ancient shale were thrust upward, creating multi-tiered crags. In a warzone where the Astra Militarum rely on elevation to survive, these plateaus provide the ultimate tactical high ground. But the earth here is a treacherous facade. It is a brittle husk masquerading as a fortress. The grandfather's touch does not merely break the surface, it burrows. Beneath the illusion of unyielding stone, a searing, warp-born necrosis violently excavates the mantle from the inside out. Invisible, parasitic forces bore into the planet's crust with the blistering heat of a fevered sickness, effortlessly melting through the compressed shale to carve deep, weeping undercuts into the dark. What remains is not a mountain, but a shattered, blighted monolith, leaving the towering crags violently broken and scarred, like the splintered ribs of a plague corpse. It is a calcified snare, engineered to crumble and consume the Imperial advance the moment they dare to claim the summit. The true horror of the Nurgle Rot Forest lies in its scars. The stone here was not weathered by the slow passage of time or natural rainfall. It was scoured by an acidic, warp-infused miasma. The planet's crust does not merely break, it sickens. First, a caustic rot tears at the exposed edges, flaying the rock as a rusted blade flays dead flesh. Then, a festering contagion spreads across the flat plateaus, pitting the bedrock with a rash of blistering, unnatural craters. Finally, the sheer, crushing bloat of the underforce forces deep, violent fissures into the vertical cliff faces. What was once perfectly smooth, unyielding stone is instantly transformed into the brutal, pockmarked visage of a dying world. Where the most concentrated viral payload struck, the bedrock did not shatter. It wept and dissolved. Blistering, acidic phages gnawed directly into the planet's crust, violently boiling the stone into hollowed cavities. Only when these searing impact craters breached the planet's buried, stagnant waterways did the violent dissolving stop. The sudden flood of dead water quenched the chemical fire, freezing the molten rock in its tracks. What remains are the Necrotic Cisterns, raw, shallow wounds carved perfectly into the earth, lying open and waiting to be flooded by the rising, gangrenous tides. The Nurgle Rot Forest is a predator that understands its prey. By thrusting up these fractured rock formations with clean, stepped plateaus, the earth offered a false sanctuary, giving the defenders the stable staging areas their heavy weapons desperately needed. Now the trap is set. As entire squads march onto the high ground, firmly planting their boots on the stone, they are entirely unaware that the bedrock they are defending is slowly digesting them. The grandfather's excavation is absolute, leaving behind only the raw, weeping topography of a dying world. The dense timber provides obscuring shadows. The shattered crags offer treacherous paths to the high ground while casting shadows deep enough to shield the grandfather's most towering monstrosities. And the empty cisterns lay waiting for the rising tides. The brutal, skeletal frame of the battlefield has been violently ripped from the earth, but raw stone is fragile. Before the toxic tides can rise, the planet must scab over. It must be armored, sealed, and brought to sickening life. The soil is broken, and now we bring the rot.